you're radically transparent about your business, right? Like it's like you are operating a public company. Do you recommend that path for other founders, like even if they're operating privately, if especially if they're going on the path that you are, which is a profitable company? How has the transparency helped you? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's helped in a lot of ways, There's probably maybe some downsides too we can talk about, but like the upside is like one, it's like empathetic, like it's marketing, right? I mean, it's like it's a way of building a brand. It's a way of like getting people to care about you and your company. There are many Gumroad creators who made lots of money on Gumroad who've told me explicitly like the reason they used Gumroad was because they wanted to support this kind of thing, especially around COVID. Uh, that we were super transparent about like the money creators would make. We do these public board meetings. Uh, I just think, but it's not necessarily about like the pros and cons. It's just like what is the right thing to do, and like, I just think, I don't know. I just think transparency is great. Like, it's hard for me to see a real downside to the world about like too much transparency. Like I think it's hard to argue that like less code should be open source, for example. Uh, and so it just felt like the right thing to do. And especially because Gumroad, like I don't necessarily recommend it to like Cursor or Mercury or like, like there are risks. There's security audits you have to go through. There's potential attack vectors that will open up. There may be clones and other copycats and like, even if there's nothing wrong necessarily with that, like it diffuses your customer base. Like there are real risks to it. Mostly it's just time consuming, frankly. I don't think it's like people are against this. It's like if you have limited engineers, do you want to spend time building features for your customers or do you want to go open source, right? So I think we were just kind of running out of things to do. We like had built like the things that government creators mostly want, and so we just decided to invest in this kind of thing. I also felt just disconnected socially from Silicon Valley. Like I've always enjoyed the culture and enjoyed talking to people, and it's like the smartest people on earth working on really interesting problems, and I think that will kind of always be true. And it was a way of like having something to say, like in that conversation and like participating socially, the sort of build in public sort of mentality. And I think now I believe that like, as we were talking about before, like being a junior engineer in this market is kind of tough. And I think it's open source, and I think publicizing a lot of this stuff, it allows people to learn. Like the videos don't. It's not like they get hundreds of thousands of views or like millions of people are interested in how Gumroad operates. But my guess is that there's like dozens of people who have learned a lot from those videos, and have like been like, oh, even like like unicorn, whatever, like public not public companies, but companies that we would all recognize and name. They'd be like, oh, I watched your board meeting video, and like we took something away from that, and you actually run a really good one. And I'm like, yeah, it's because like if you run one and there's like four people, you're like gonna like kind of phone it in. Like it doesn't really matter that much. You're gonna use like whatever black text on white background, that sort of thing. But if you're gonna put this on YouTube, it's kind of like a piece of content. You're gonna invest more in like fact checking all the numbers and like making sure there are no errors and like so that's another reason I think I do it, frankly, is I think it just makes me better. Like I think it's just like why I open source the Doge code, why I open source all the Gumroad code. I just think your work you just will do a better job because you know that people may look at your it's like you have guests over, you're going to clean the house, right? Like it's kind of like having guests over all the time.